All right, I'm clicking record.
We're recording right now.
All right, good. So somehow we'll have to figure out how to make this work. Send it to the world.
We got that nailed down. So here we are, Ellen, you, me, Amy, and you were just telling us something about how you were leading up to the bitch slap preparation.
Well, you know, we were talking about this aspect of performance coaching to get on stage and do this thing. And actually that got influenced because I had been to a bunch of women's empowerment events with speakers. And I saw that for the most part, the organizers invited cool people and then just let them figure out whatever to do. And I went to one where the speakers were using index cards, like all of them were using index cards. And another one where one of the people who was like an astrophysicist, she was so smart, but she was so nervous. And nobody had coached her that, you know, hey, if you just get that broken down, just share it with the audience. You know what I mean? It's a women's empowerment event. You can just stop for a second and be like, fuck, I'm so nervous, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just thought I just didn't want to do that to my audience, to the bitch slap audience. I feel like they deserve having people be really well prepared, well rehearsed.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll screw up as we will, but at least we really put the effort in to try to make something amazing for people to come watch. So
I think that's worth it, you know, and I guess it leads into the next question I have for you. And the reason for this conversation is you have put something out in the universe that shocks people right away by the title of it alone. And when we unpeel that back and unwrap that a little bit, what we find is what you created is genius. And I think it's a disruptor in the way that we're presented information. And so when I look at it, I go, polished speakers. Well, because you describe it as it's kind of Saturday Night Live. It's like TED. It's like TED, but a little.
It's like we say it's like TED, but with cursing, I think is the best way to explain it.
Who doesn't want to find truth? And so if you can find truth through humor and levity, but also sincerity and experience, you know, that's a good combination.
I feel like a lot of us are a mixture of those things. And that's what, like, I'm always fascinated with, like, gaps in the marketplace. That's always been, like, when I was a teenager and I didn't know what that meant, I was fascinated. So I just feel like I had been to so many events that were good, but the tone was always so sincere and so intentional and very serious. And that was really what drove Bitch Slap for me. I just thought, you know, let's see what happens if we mix it up a little bit more. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know there's lots of people like me who feel those things. And so, yeah, that was really pretty much it. And also, somebody had invited me to apply for one of the TEDx things to speak at. And I thought, well, even if I get through, I'll never be able to talk the way I want to talk. So I figured, we got to, you know, I didn't actually intend to invent all this, whatever, but it was more kind of, I looked around for a place where we could do it and there wasn't a place. So that's why we sort of felt forced to create.
What are some of the elements that you kind of felt were missing from those women empowerment conversations? Was it the humor or was it
Well, yes, certainly the humor and the tone. But so one of the things I think is always interesting in any brand is when there's a tension, when there's a contradiction that creates that tension. And I, like a lot of people in my world, I have a love-hate relationship with self-help. Like, I love it. And there's aspects of it I find so cheap and annoying. And I have since I was, you know, in the 80s growing up, and I knew the first time I saw some of that stuff. I always think of, I'm a huge Family Guy fan, and I always think of Stewie and Family Guy going, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So I guess I wanted a place where we could love it and hate it at the same time, where we could love it but make fun. And it's hard to, like, a lot of people don't quite understand that atmosphere isn't, the ecology isn't there for it, that you can take it very seriously and also enjoy all your attempts and that's what I always feel like is missing. I'm sorry, that was a really long answer to your question, but
fantastic answer. I mean,
it's a complex thing.
I think so.
I'm not sure there's any quick answer to what we're talking about. And you know, when we started looking at this and promoted and said we're going to promote it out there, everyone's shocked by bitch slap, right? Ooh,
right. Ooh.
The real value here, or the awesomeness here, is the truth part.
Yeah.
It's left off on the behind. And I know you did that somewhat intentionally to get the shock factor in there for people to recognize. But the truth part is what the core of this is at, right?
Yes, I'm hoping. I mean, of course, there's many truths, and we all try to claim one. But to me, the truth is, we've had these long kind of ontological, epistemological debates on what is the truth. But for the purposes of bitch slap, we say, here's what the truth is. The truth is that in life, it's the cutting edge of reality, and it's the stuff in life that you can ignore that truth, but it won't ignore you. Not for the long run. No. It'll come find you one way or another. So you can either pay and get slapped and get the truth now, or life will give you the bitch slap, and you might not have to pay the $60 or whatever, but it might be a little harder. So.
And you don't see it coming.
No, and you won't see it coming. But right now you can get it. And plus, like, we'll be nice and give it to you, like, in a hopefully sweet, loving, funny way. But life may not be that nice to you. So.
You're even giving people drinks and food. So.
Yes, we are giving, while you're being slapped, we're giving you drinks and food. So that's good.
That's so nice. That's so kind.
We are. Yeah. I don't.
So I'm looking at it going, I'm going to have some drinks and some food, and I'm going to sit here and get some truth. But who am I getting truth from?
Okay, well, you're getting truth from a bunch of bitches I hang out with is pretty much it. No, we've got a doctor who's going to talk to us about body intelligence. We have a body intelligence versus positive thinking. I think people get really hung up on positive thinking, and I think it's such a trap sometimes. Yeah. And then we've got a sustainable health practitioner who's going to talk to us about just the end of diets and working out. And her premise is, athletes eat and train, and dieting and working out is not what your inner athlete wants you to do. And everybody has an inner athlete. Even if you're in a wheelchair, you've got one. Even if you're old, even if you're heavy, you still have an inner athlete. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh, we've got this perfectionist. We've got the most perfect perfectionist on the planet. Her name is Shelley Hunter Hillesheim. And she is a better perfectionist than anyone's ever been.
Wow. And
we decided that we were tired of perfectionist shaming, because that happens a lot with women, whereas I noticed that men don't get shamed quite like that when they're very good controllers. Mm-hmm. So she's going to give a slap on, you can still be this perfectionist, but how does self-care really allow you to be the best perfectionist you can be? So that's going to be a fun one. I'm so excited for that because I'm not type A, but I know a lot of people in our audience are. And anyway, I just think that's a very interesting angle.
That's really cool.
We have an expert in the area of belonging, which I think is something that people ignore. They think, oh, I just need to I need to get a better body. I need to get a better mate. I need a better job, but they don't think about some of the sadness that's in their life is from lack of belonging. And where are the places they belong? Who do they belong with? And belonging is a big deal that adults ignore like all the time. And then we have an expert on boundaries. She's a 25-year veteran of personal safety, and her company, Impact Personal Safety Colorado, has devised the only empowered family program in the world. So it means you and your whole family, your kids, as young as 6, can train together for a culture of safety, so that your whole family is going to be so good with your communication and boundaries with each other and with other people. It's amazing work. And it happens that she's here in Denver. So those are our slappers. Oh, and then me.
And then you.
And I'm going to slap on the concept of the Super Tight brand and something called the magic ingredient. But I'm not going to tell you right now what the magic ingredient is. But there is a magic ingredient behind every Super Tight brand that most people don't know about. So
I can't wait to find out.
That's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm.
I know. And so when you had the vision of bitch slap, is this gonna be annual? Is this what's happening with bitch slap?
So the plan right now is that it will be annual, but also that we're going to take this one on tour. So we're going to do we're going to do Vegas and
headquarters.
yes, and LA, New York, maybe Atlanta, Chicago. Again, this is all based on whether or not we can get it together. Of course, we have to do it successfully here first, and then as long as people don't throw rocks at us, then we would take it on the road. And then it would be the long-term vision is that we would open it up so that every year different people can do it, and perhaps past that, a longer-term vision would be whatever, people franchise it and do it other places like they do TEDx. So
I think the world certainly needs a little more TED meets SNL in their lives. Siloing the two, it only reaches one part of your brain. And
yeah,
so
exactly.
connect the two, I think, is super important.
Yeah, and I love TED. I mean, I think TED's awesome, and I'm really grateful they're there. But yeah, I just thought I love, Amy, that you said siloing. That's so perfect. That's the shit in life that gets to me.
Yeah.
And I think, like, literally since I was in grade school, I've always been like, but why? Why do those things have to be separate? So,
right.
Yeah, I call bitch slap is the meeting of the sacred and the profane. And I'm really big on that. I love putting together the sacred and profane.
I like that.
Yeah.
Image in my head.
Yeah. So we have some early adopters coming to Bitch Slap next Thursday.
Ooh, awesome. Awesome.
We have some people who are going like, I get what you're saying, and I want to be a part of this. And
Last I heard, it was like 150 early adopters. I mean, a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
From Vegas? Where are they from?
No, in Denver, like the signups that we've heard.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people needing what you're saying.
And we have a lot of people asking us what's going on, and that was the purpose of asking you to come on here and talk to us a little bit today, because we're like, what is this thing? And it's intriguing, but I might be a little nervous about it.
Yeah,
right. Well,
Ellen's vision.
Yes. They tell them they will be safe and they will have food and drinks, and nobody will physically slap them unless they want them to. Like, I personally will slap a bitch, but like physically, but you have to ask.
Yeah.
I'm not just,
Yeah, some people might like that. Who knows?
Well, and we do have our boundaries and safety expert, Amelia Dorn from Impact, on hand. So she will be there to deal with it if anyone just feels overly slapped. She will teach you the magic formula for communicating your feelings on that matter. So yeah, it's going to be safe. And we just hope people are going to have an awesome time.
Oh yeah. I figure it's going to be loud and laugh. I think it's going to get kind of rowdy in some way.
You'll be there. So men are definitely.
Yes, men are definitely allowed. To tell you the truth, when I got the vision for this, it didn't come across as just for women at all. But when I got the name, I thought, well, men probably won't pay. Most men won't pay to get bitch slapped, but most women will get the joke. And so we say it's for intentional professional women and some brave men. But there's no subjects that we're covering that are gender specific. There's nothing. Yeah. It's not a women's issue in that way. Yeah.
It's life as we all know it.
Yeah, life, exactly. Life and stuff. Yeah.
Well, we're excited. We'll see you November 4th?
November 3rd, Thursday, a week from today.
November 3rd at 6 p.m.?
Yes, at 6 p.m. at Exto Event Center in downtown Denver. And you want to get there right at 6 because there's some really good stuff going before the actual slapping happens. That's pretty cool. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you want to just if you can get there right then, you will be happy.
And we can find out more information on your Facebook page, the Bitch Slap.
The Bitch Slap of Truth. Yes, you can. Or the website, which is thebitchslapoftruth.com. And yeah, if people have questions, tell them to ask on Facebook and we'll answer.
And to the people that will see this that aren't all in Denver.
Yes.
As you heard in this, Ellen's going to hit some small towns across the country.
We're going to hit some small towns. Absolutely. We're going to
New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, and who knows where it's going to go.
Well, we're going to have to go to Dayton, Ohio, because unfortunately that's where I'm from. So yeah, there's that.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Rochester, New York. We'll hit
my mom's from Rochester and I grew up in Andover, Massachusetts. So we got that. We're definitely going there. But the other thing, people who are not in some of those tiny towns of Vegas and LA could do is we do have a actually like really good newsletter. Like I need to rebrand the concept newsletter because like most newsletters are not very well. Not all of them are very entertaining, and we're really working hard to make ours very entertaining. So that is a way that people can get in touch, stay in touch, and hopefully get some good truth slapped out. Also, after the event, we will have the event filmed, and so there will be bits and cuts and pieces and all that stuff on YouTube, so you can see the individual slaps.
Yeah.
So you can participate, and a good way to do that, again, just sign up for the newsletter, and that way we can let you know, hey, here's when this stuff is up for you to watch.
Yep. Okay. So the message there is your newsletter is not a typical newsletter.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm going to have to find a new word for newsletter because I just, when I hear the word newsletter, I'm just like, but that's just me.
No, we took ours down because I just couldn't stand saying newsletter. I don't know.
I know. Anyway, I have to find, it hasn't come yet, but I'm praying to the gods, like, please give me a rebrand of that concept.
Like I think of like the slappergram. There you go.
Flappergram. Oh, that's nice.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. I love that. Can I? What's that?
I said, don't actually use that. It sounds kind of like a strippergram. But
yes, but that's why I like it. I'm gonna bring that up with the group, and if that's okay, we were just talking about. So, can I tell you guys one more thing? That's funny. So, and can I use some R-rated language?
Yes.
Okay. So we were trying to figure out, we're going to probably also just do these quarterly community events, just for people to get together, and we'll have like one bitch slap, and then it's mostly just to socialize. So we were like, okay, what can we do? What can we call these? So Renee, our own Dr. Renee Ostertag, like, she loves that thesaurus thing. And, we're looking up like, what should we call it? It's like a social, but it's a what? And so she's like reading out all this stuff, and all of a sudden we came across the word caucus. So we started calling it the bitch slap caucus, because when you say that in short, when you say it, the short version of that is it's the bitch slap cock.
Yeah.
So yeah. And also because there's something so funny about the word caucus being applied to whatever, a women's or empowerment event.
That's a great word.
So actually we're now into the bitch slap caucus, and I think that we might use that one, but I'm really into slappergram. I love that. So even if it's not quite that, that's better. That's way better.
Either or works really well.
I love that this brand has so much runway in front of it. It can go so far. And I like that. That's the genius in what you created here. So
thank you.
Think Global. We are really proud and grateful to be partnering with you on this. And we're just excited to watch you guys fly. So.
And we're going to spread the word, and we hope our followers and our network and our friends all at least check it out. Don't be afraid of it. It's super fun. I think that the information, because we know some of the speakers, is insane. It's awesome. It's world class. And the fact that you had coaches train everybody, it's going to be delivered world class.
Well, we hope so. Yeah, none of us are professional speakers yet, but we're working on it. So there's that. And I mean, I've had such a brand crush on you guys for almost 4 years. My good friend Pamela Moss, first introduced me to you, and I have had a boner for your brand ever since. I think you guys are awesome. I really am. I'm like a 7th grader, like, oh, Think Global. And you should have seen like the day that like Steve reached out to me and said he wanted to talk about this. I mean, I literally like was walking around like going like this. Like, I have fluttering sleeves, and my sleeves were fluttering, and it's a thrill for. I think what you guys do is the shit. I've seen it done so half-assed so much, and I just feel like if you're gonna actually get this, get it from Think Global. I mean, you guys are amazing. So I am like mega, mega honored. And I hope that when you guys are in town, I get to meet you.
Yes. And now we have the mutual crush, so it's good.
Okay. Oh, we're at the mutual crush stage.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm going to put a note in your locker later. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
been a long time since I got one of those, so that's awesome.
What's going to happen. It's going to be awesome.
Well, we will see you in Denver soon.
Sounds great. And I'm looking so forward. I mean, I've met Steve in person. Amy, I'm so looking forward to meeting you, and we will go get you some more fedora and some tassel. So it's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
I love it.
Hot. All right, guys, have a great trunk show.
All right, thank you.
All right, now let's see. I will stop recording.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one, guys.